Laurie. Last week, Dr. Mehdi Ali Kamar returned to his hometown in Pakistan. He was meant to spend 3 weeks training doctors at a heart clinic there. Instead, Dr. Kamar was gunned down in front of his wife and child a day after arriving. His family says he was targeted because he belonged to the outlawed Ahmadi Muslim sect. To tell me more, I'm joined now by his nephew, Harif Ahmed Chowdhury. Hello there, and my condolences to you.
Hi, Joe. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for coming on. What can you tell me about what happened to your uncle?
Well, he had visited family here, and then also he'd visited friends and family in the UK before he flew out to Pakistan. He'd been in Pakistan, and it was actually only his second day in town. And he'd left in the morning, early in the morning after morning prayers. It was himself, his wife, and their infant son. They had gone to visit the graveyard. The community graveyard is just slightly outside of town. So they were there, and due to safety concerns, because our community is persecuted against, because of that, the graveyard is kept locked up and guarded at nighttime. So when they got there, they were informed that, the gates at that time weren't open, so they were informed that it wouldn't be too long, so they decided to wait outside. So as they were waiting, 2 gunmen on motorcycles came, and it was clearly targeted because they drove right up to my uncle. They fired 2 shots into his back. His wife was holding the infant son. Thankfully, nothing happened to her. This is directly targeted only at him. So as he turned around, then they shot him about at least 10 more times or so, and then that would be in the chest and the body. And and they drove away, and unfortunately he passed right there.
Why do you think your uncle was targeted?
Well, I'm not sure if you're aware of this or not, but in 1974, the government of Pakistan, in their constitution, said that the Ahmadi community and the Muslim community was to be declared officially non-Muslim. So we are basically deprived of our freedom of conscience, freedom of thought, and freedom of religion in our own home country. We are not allowed to call ourselves Muslim. The basic greeting that we have of peace be upon you when you meet somebody, we are not allowed to say that, as that is considered an Islamic greeting. We are not allowed to call our places of worship mosques. If any member of our community is, say, recorded or anything, reading something from the Holy Quran, our holy book, reading anything like that, then they can be either sent to prison or anything like that because of that thing in the Constitution. And then also there were later also anti-blasphemy laws that basically made it so that our community we aren't able to practice our faith. Now, all we hope for and believe for is just peace, and that's all we work for. Our community motto is love for all, hatred for none. And so my uncle, he was a cardiologist, a heart doctor. He had flown out there on his own time, his own thing, to go to the Tahir Heart Institute. It's basically a free hospital for those who need it. Doesn't matter if you're rich, poor, you show up and you'll get treatment free of charge. That is the basis of that thing. That's what he was there for.
He was there on this, as you say, sort of medical humanitarian work. Was he worried? I mean, given what you've described, was he worried going into that situation for his safety?
Of course, because, like our entire family, every Ahmadi family who's been in Pakistan has known, they know this. We are fully aware it is very risky to go, but that, danger shouldn't stop you. Like, our belief is that danger shouldn't stop you from doing what's right, and that is helping people. This is a man, basically, the easiest way to describe him would be humanitarian. He devoted his entire life to helping others. Like, that was, how many lives has he saved across, the years? You can't really count.
What do you hope will happen? We just have a few seconds left, but I mean, what do you hope will happen because of what happened with your uncle?
Well, he was a dual citizen of Canada and the United States. So now we have the government of Canada. We're asking the government of Canada and the government of the United States of America that this is a citizen of both your countries. You're among the most powerful nations in the world. Please, all we ask for is for basic, basic human rights of freedom of thought, freedom of conscience, and freedom of religion, which we are deprived of in our own home country. So they have not only the power and the obligation, they also now have the opportunity, and that's the best thing we can describe, that, don't let his death be in vain. They can make a difference to millions of lives there in Pakistan.
I thank you so much for talking about what must be a really difficult subject, but really important. I thank you for talking with us today.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for having me. It means a lot to me and my family. Thank you.
Harif Ahmed Chowdhury's uncle was killed in Pakistan this week. Dr. Mehdi Ali Kamar was in Pakistan volunteering at a heart clinic. His family believes he was targeted because he belonged to the outlawed Ahmadi Muslim sect. Well, Mike Wise is here now with a last-minute update from the CBC Newsroom.